Hi, here am I, SeMi, and this is another episode of PubgLite Reverse Engineer. Today I'm alone. Before I start, I would like to tell a funny thing that before I started recording, I wanted to use my Surface tablet with remote PC connection to my main PC, but my keyboard which I can attach to this tablet broke, so I need to use my girlfriend laptop for this. And today I'm gonna be talking about our new discoveries. A few weeks ago we mentioned that we want to map PubgLite channels and what objects are attached to these channels. Here is the list from Relight, from our source code, and we wanted to make similar log with PubgLite. So for that I modified my SDK for PubgLite, and I did few hooks on functions that are responsible for this log inside Unreal Engine source code. So here, for example, we have the setChannelActor function, which is logging this one line. Here we have channel index and actor on that channel. It also should display the net GUID, but I couldn't do this then, and it wasn't that much important, but it will be in the future, as source code is resolving object based on net GUID. The difficulty with it is that in the source code we have special class for net GUID, and inside the SDK this class is missing, so I need to write it on my own for it to work. There we have the internal process remote function. I also did a hook to log every RPC that is called on the client, so we can know what server is calling on all players. So we can start PubgLite 2 times. First one, we need to change the DLL for Xenos injector. Okay, not there, here. Okay. Oh. Okay. So here we have PubgLite. We can then proceed to attach the DLL file. It's working. We can see this is in Polish, but its hook is set on setChannelActor. Okay, so now we want to open the map with the listen server, like usual, and that should not happen. Okay. Oh. Okay. So now we can start the second instance. Console is cleared right now. We might also want to record the traffic with the Wireshark. Oh, but first we need to Wireshark. We need to delete the plugin, our plugin, because I modified it and it's gonna crash the Wireshark on PubgLite traffic. So we might want to disable it. Okay. Now we can start the Wireshark. Okay, that should happen. Type the port of the game. Okay, okay. And now we can start the second instance of the game. gonna do the same thing. I don't know why it's going on full screen. We can't even change the resolution. That's funny. Okay, and oh, and we can see that it's printing the RPCs. I can try to move, swim, open inventory. You can see if it will trigger some RPC from server. Okay, we can exit. Okay, so for example, user move cmd_ack. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so it's probably gonna be like that. We might want to copy this. Oh, why does that happen? You can do this also classic way. Okay. So here we can see all the channels. Like this is not important. Here we can delete some RPCs. Okay, so now we can see that we have few channels. We have one for the player controller, two for the player pawns, as one is the server, second is the client, I think so. Then we can the map, we have survive game state, BP global config, TSL LPC player state. We have also weather, which is kind of weird, but I think it can be changed on every client, so it needs to be a separate actor. So now that we know the channels, we now can look inside the SDK. For example, we have the BPST extra player controller. So we can look it up in the SDK. This is this blueprint. And here we have the flags. So for example, inside this class, we don't have any replicated properties, as if property is replicated, it should have the net flag or rep notify flag. Net flag is only replicating the property, and if the flag is rep notify, then it's replicating property, and it's also notifying the code that property was changed. So it's like an event, so other action can happen. So we can go further inside. Here we can, for example, search for net. Oh, and here we have net, so this property is replicated. It's the plane start yaw, so it's like rotation of the plane. We can go next. Next we have, okay, this is only one, or rep notify. There is not anymore anyone. Okay, so we can go furthermore. And here we have the ST extra player controller. This is the CPP class, it's not the blueprint. Here we have notify. So SDK gives us the information, like if we have there rep notify, so we know that this property is replicated, so it should be inside the packet of the initial replication data. So for example, we are going much deeper, and the U object is like the first. So here we don't replicate anything. Here we have the actor, so it should have some replication. Yeah, it have. And we need to go class by class and look at the properties which are replicated. So they should be in the same order inside the packet and with the same size and type of the element. And this is kind of the thing that we want to do to dissect these packets. We would need to adjust our dissector code, add these classes to it, so it can also know what's inside. We can base it on the class, on what channel actor is. We can save what channel have what actor, and we can set this that way. So, and initial idea for this is to rewrite all these classes inside our source code, so there will be place for the data that client is sending. Because right now, if I will close I might also want to save this. Okay, close this. We have this saved here. Okay, so if we start PubgLite one more time, we can go inside Relight newest, not here. And we can start the server. Okay, server is starting, so we can try to connect. Okay, lost connection to the host, and that's totally expected, cause here we have somewhere here is the error. Error is inside the server update level visibility function, and here we have info that this much bits was read and this much we can save, so it's totally too much, and we are not even sure if client is seriously trying to call this function as function and as resolved on the rep index, and I guess the rep index can be moved based on this where the function is inside code, in what order. We can also check this function inside our source code. Because it's a default class, default function of player controller. You can see if I'm recording. Okay, I think everything is good. Okay, so we have the player controller. Okay, kinda weird. Here we have the implementation. I don't know why. Oh, here it is. And it's taking the package name and B is visible. But this is the problem with the serialization, not with calling the function. So you can see it's overflowed on FB2 reader. So it might check the class size, for example, and it's not matching. So we want to adjust our project to the light layout. And for that, I generated the SDK also for our source code, so we can see how it differs with PubgLite. And we had first problem very quickly, as we can go by actor, the UObject, and we are inside the UObject in the Relight SDK. Here we can do the same thing, and here we have the class size is 28 bytes. And initial, there was also one property which was 8 bytes more, and it wasn't in the PubgLite SDK. So we looked deeper, and we find out that Unreal Engine have stats macro, maybe here, and we can see this UObject, not here, controller, actor, UObject. We need to wait a bit. UObject base utility and UObject base, and it's the last class. And here we have, it's the same layout as inside of the SDK. We can see nothing, but let me, okay, here we have object flags, index, class, name, and outer, and in source code we also have stat ID, and it's enabled by a macro. So we dig inside this macro. Here we can see that if stats is enabled, then we are defining this code, and if not, we are not defining this code. So we got into the stats, and here we just needed to disable it for the development and debug build, as in shipping it's disabled default. So this was one error we had to adjust. And now we can go next. So from this we can go one layer up. Here we have actor. Actor have the same size on both Relight and PubgLite. We can go one up. Know where we are. Actor still. Okay, a controller. And here we can see that this have 68 bytes, and it have not 68 but hex 68, my mistake, and here it have 78 hex bytes. So something is not good. Here we can see that I saw it earlier. We can see that this is less than 23. Like here we have 35 bytes, and here we have the 90 bytes. We don't know what was added to the source code, because we can go to the app layer controller. Maybe I can go back to this. actor and a controller. Here we can say see the pawn. Here we can see the this is the old pawn for I think. There we can see character, player state, transform component, control rotation should be here. And B is player character, player controller. There we have these two properties. They should have 2 bytes. Here we have this. It should be 19 bytes. Not 19, sorry. 17. As these two are taking 2 bytes. 70 bytes. So now we are matching this. And I added here the uint of 16 bytes to adduce the 23 here, as 23 here is 35. So we can open the calculator. We can see that 17 plus 2 plus 16 will give us 35. So we are now matching the original code. And that's all for it. We can also try to match the functions, but I think they should be the same as in PubgLite. Yeah, they look kinda the same. So we can go match one upper and go to the A player controller. Okay, that's kind of weird. Okay, here we have the player controller. It has hex 300, and here we have 2F0. So 2F0 is 752, and okay, it froze, I think. Seven, 6, 8. So we are missing 16 bytes inside of the PubgLite, or we have too much inside the Relight. So we can go and check their sizes. And I can already see the difference. Or not, sorry. Okay. So 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. The first one, 3, C, C4, 10, 10, 4, 4, C, C, 4, 4, 8, 8, 8, 10. And here we have the difference. in light it's 19, and inside the relight it's A0, and it's padding, so it's not a known property. We have the difference, A0 minus 19, and it's hex 10 decimal 16. So here we have the difference. Here we have this property and this property, so we can easily check that inside our source code. We just need to go into the A player controller. I don't know if I have this here. Player controller. Okay. So now we can take the property from the SDK, which is this one, and search for it inside the source code. And here we have it. So what we can see next is that we have the TRA of force feedback effect history entry, and it's only enabled if we are not inside shipping or build test. And we are not, because we are in the debug game. It's not the build test. So what we might to do is we can comment this out. Okay, so we can save this. And rest of it should be the same. Wait, what did I do? Active force feedback effects. No, yeah. And dynamic force feedbacks. The next should be the B player is waiting. Yeah, here is the next U property, and here we have the U property, so it's all good. We can also write these properties inside the SDK, but it's not really important now. Okay, so now we are matching with size as hex 300 minus 2F0 should be 10, and it is 10. Okay, so now we can go one up. And it's a UA player controller, and we don't have this class inside our source code, so we need to create this, and we need to create it in the same way as it's created inside the PubgLite. I'm not really sure about the gameplay mark here, as it could be the other module or something like that. Let me check the time. If you can time to... Okay, we have. So we are going to the Unreal Engine. We are creating this class as the CPP class, and we can, I think, try to add these properties to this class. Okay. We would need to modify some things for this. I should be able to open this by this. I'm not pretty sure, but it should be possible. Okay, so it's loading and loading and loading. We might need to modify the structure a bit. We don't really know what these properties are on paths, but maybe we will figure out in the future. They are probably only need for the client to know, as if they don't have the replication flag, then server does not know about them. And at least we are thinking this is the case. Yeah, it can take a while. It's taking longer than I expected. So I'm not pretty sure about this class. It's having quite a generic name. Oh, and there it is. Okay, so we have the our editor. Here we have the stExtraPlayerController.h. It's not good as it's edit. It's not good as it's stExtraPlayerController.h. Okay, I can modify this, so it's good because we need to inherit from other class, not a player controller, but the like we can see in the SDK, the UAA player controller. So we can do this now. We can copy this name. We can create new C++ class. I don't know if we want to. Oh, and here we have the a player controller. No. Okay, but we can do this. Selected class source, player controller, that's right. Next, my new class, it's named UAA player controller. Like in here. Because A is generated as at runtime. Like we can see, for example, BP stExtraPlayerController C, and here we have this A added at the start of it. Also here we have the another blueprint, and here we have another blueprint. It also have the A at the start. Okay, so we can create the class. I don't know if it's gonna take a while or not. In the meanwhile, we can go the perplexity and start the new site. We can go into SDK, we can copy him few lines. We can say, can you rewrite me those properties as they will be inside UE4 game source code. Add their flags from comment as well. Can try if he can do that. Okay, it's still compiling. What? Oh, not this class. But we want to see the U property. They should be protected because they are public in SDK. Okay. Okay, it's still generating. But I think we can start to write those. Uint 8. Oh, not union. Uint 8. But 0. And it's in the size of 10. We don't know what that is. There we have struct. Not struct, it's just f vector. Charact location. And that will be the U property. We can ask Perplexity to search info for us, as Perplexity is much more the extended searcher with AI. Okay, so it's only replicated. We can do the view property. Okay, but these are from the type also. So we might want to give its type is f vector. Okay, so we can try to save current and restart the project, I think. Or maybe the whole game needs to be rebuilt. We can see. But this class is still here. So we can open it inside the Unreal Engine in the Visual Studio. Yeah, player controller here. Here. Okay, it's here. Okay, we can close this. We can copy this. Okay, we can pass it there. It's the f vector. And okay, so still we have only the replicated view property. Can also go for split screen. Can close the Explorer here. And we can, I think, go like this only. Okay, it's not appearing here, so I think I need to rebuild the module. But that's not really important now. We can even, I think, close the editor, as we are only messing with the source code right now. Okay. So now we have another path. We can write it almost the same like in the SDK. Path 2, 1, and it's for 4 bytes. So it may be an int or something like that. And path is not having the view property. Next we have the f string of weather name. And it's probably replicated. Yeah, and it's almost the same. Display all data, 0 constructor has get value, type hash, native access specifier public. Okay, so it's also only replicated. Next we have the int32. It's the weather ID. It will be also replicated as well. You can mark the line. Yeah, and it's only replicated. It does not have any more 0 constructor, so it seems the character location might be in the constructor of this class. Okay. Okay, so it's only replicated. Int32. player start ID. It's also replicated, and as far as I can see, also only replicated uProperty. F player net stats. Okay, I need to check if that class exists in the source code. Okay, load again. Okay. F player net stats. And it should be also there, or not? Oh, we can also look at this there gameplay. Oh, so it can be class from the gameplay. I could create the file gameplay and go from this. But okay, I think we can go here and view class relight API f player net stats, but this is struct, so maybe script struct. Okay. They are uProperty, but okay, so only uProperty. Address. uProperty. df string local address. Oh my god. Next is the uProperty float average ping. Okay, I'm gonna do this in a while. Float max ping. They are all the same, right? Right. And hike ping. Okay. Okay, and we also need to add this padding, pad 0 of 0x14. Okay. Use struct, it should be there. I can also copy this, take this here. Is this properly defined? So we can also learn something here. Okay. You can also check if that's here. Oh, right. Hmm. Maybe it should not. Player net stats, so net stats, and see if it's replicated. It's like here. And native access specifier public. Okay, then we have the uint8 pad 2 with the size of 0x10. Then we have bool b is gm, and as far as I remember, it's also replicated. There was the net flag? I didn't saw it. Blueprint, oh, there is net, okay. Character gender, I guess it's I guess it's is it replicated? Yeah, it is, okay. A character gender, so I guess we can just make here view enum class a character gender of type uint8, male is 0, female is 1, and a character gender max is 2. Can go to this? No, okay. Okay, so now we can go and a character gender default character gender, then we can copy its flags, give it to the perplexity, it's gonna print us what we want, what we need to specify. Okay, next we want to make padding, pad 3 of size 0x6. Then we have the initial item ist, and it's the array of fgame mode player item. So it's a struct again, use struct fgame mode player item, it's final, generated body, okay, public, and it have int 32, item table id, count. Okay, and we can take these flags, go to the perplexity, okay, it seems it's only edit anywhere. Oh, not this, not this. Okay, so we can go back, can go in here, and here we have TRA of F game mode player item initial item list. Okay, and this value okay, replicated using onRep, so we can look it up in the SDK. OnRep initial item is, yeah, it's here. So we can do this like that. And we need to also add the U function. But U functions will be at the end of the code. So we can pass it one more public, I think. Oh, it's here also. Okay, and one last property as we are short on time. It's the TRA of int32 and its initial weapon avatar list. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, if you're not asleep yet already, and see you in the next episode. Goodbye.